I'm Sam.
I'm Adam.
And you're listening to episode something of the PMMetalGuide podcast. We're on step 5
Woo!
of the Opethyssy. We're talking about the greatest metal album of the past 20 years, which turns 20 on tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
We're recording this.
Well, even when it's released as well, it'll be 20 years old. So,
which is crazy.
We didn't plan that at all, actually. Fun fact. It was actually a surprise to us.
I could have sworn it was an autumn release, because it really does sound like an autumn record.
Well, yeah, but regardless,
alas,
before that, we're going to talk about what we've been listening to this past week. Sam, what have you been listening to?
Basically no music.
You're
but
a fool.
What I have listened to, I don't know, let's talk about this Architects record first, because it sucks shit. Oh my god.
Of course, the brand new Architects record, for those that wish to exist, came out earlier in February, and we had planned on either talking about it in some form or fashion, or we really didn't know what we were going to do with it, but I think we both listened to it now, and yeah, man, this record is just...
It's horrible.
It's
so bad.
There's nothing to it.
Yeah, like, I mean... What's the old, like, metal meme career arc where you start off really heavy, you have a commercial breakthrough, you start to, like, slowly, I don't know, give up on your core sound, and then eventually you just release a pop rock record?
Yeah.
And this is their pop rock record.
It's just so, it's so abrasive on the... It's abrasive in the worst way. Like, the sound quality of all these tracks are just horrible. They're
oh
so
my god, dude!
Pushed
brick wall to high heaven. You can't hear anything. Like, Sam's a super talented vocalist, but listening to these songs, you'd never know that, because you know every clean is just auto-tuned, like 18 layers. The guitars sound like shit. The drums sound like shit. You can't hear anything over just how goddamn loud the mix is, and it's so formulaic.
Every song is the same. You literally can listen to this record and you wouldn't be able to tell which song is which. You really couldn't. I don't think there's one song that I could pick out that I enjoyed or that sounded different. Except for the intro fucking 1 minute bullshit track with the industrial fucking soundscape. Like, no, this record sucks. Fuck you, Architects. You suck.
Well, dude, I mean, it's kind of like, don't get me wrong, we've never been huge fans of Architects, and it's kind of funny because we're definitely gent kids, and everyone in the gent scene loves Architects. But like, those first few Architects records kind of slap.
No, they're pretty heavy, and they helped bring the scene to what it is today. Certainly.
Yeah, no, totally. Like, metalcore and gent just go really well together.
Even Holy Hell, their last record was like, I didn't enjoy it, but I was like, okay, you know what? This is modern, like, gent, and people like it. It got nominated for a bunch of fucking awards. Which,
yeah, no, it has a high RIM score.
Yeah, like, people
love that record.
Yeah, like, it's not bad.
It sucks. I think Doomsday is, like, literally one of the worst songs I've ever heard. I'm sorry. But anywho, this record, like, for those that wish to exist, is like worse in literally every way. It sounds like, I don't know, the band heard Bring Me the Horizon's new sound once, and they were like, yo, what if we copy that but suck at it, and then dabbed and nay-nayed their way into releasing a bad record.
Obviously, the Architects fans are going to eat this one up. I'm sorry. There's so much better music to listen to. We can find it. We might have to create a charity to share better music than this, because honestly, the people who like this record probably have some they need some help.
It's gonna be like literally our most popular podcast just because it's about Blackwater Park, and we started off just shitting on one of the biggest bands in modern metal.
Well, that's okay, because that we can do that. We can have this just my opinion. You know that, right?
Y'all know this is just my opinion,
y'all know this
right?
is just my opinion. So
yeah, Fantano gave it a not good, and it blew up on Scene Twitter.
I'm
pretty sure Ollie Sykes was like, "Yo, dude, what the heck?"
If you like this record, I'm happy for you, but I would implore you to potentially check out some other music. maybe stuff we'll talk about in this episode, including... I gotta go to my thing. Hey, that new Kraulis album?
Holy heck.
Now we don't have to talk about good music. Yeah, no, of course, Demonic Wealth came out last week, to everyone's surprise. Yeah,
in true Kraulis fashion, they literally were just like, oh yeah, here's 45 minutes of Kraulis album.
Yeah, and turns out, they do it again. But
Lo and behold, Colin Marston, the lads, they did it. They pulled through.
And it's another new sound, because they have to reinvent themselves with literally every record they do.
Yeah, this record is definitely one of their more straightforward releases. I mean, for Kraulis, that means nothing, but it sounds like it's their take on like an old school atmospheric black metal record, and it's wonderful. Like, the production's a lot more spacious than their previous stuff. Apparently, like in the liner notes, it says, the drums were recorded in a swamp or something. I don't know.
I know you didn't listen to the Golden Ashes record from last year, which you absolutely still should. But this has the very same production aesthetic that record does, where it's like the space is just noise in itself, right? Like, it's not like actual noise, but because the reverb and everything is so buzzy and, just occupies all the space, it really still feels full, while at the same time being kind of gross and super.
I think it's funny how Kraulis can literally just like shitpost albums out of nowhere, and they're just the best black metal records of the year. Every year they do it.
Yeah.
Like, when was the last time Kraulis missed? I don't think they have.
No, I can't say. I mean, this is certainly one of my favorites of the year already. I mean, there's just so, at least for me, I didn't exactly like Mass Cathexis to the extent that some people did. But this record, I don't know. I think it's great. I've listened to it multiple times already, and I'm just like, I'm floored every time I hear it.
Oh, yeah, totally. It definitely has that, like, really wonderful avant-garde quality where every time you listen to it, you not only want to hear it more, but you want to, find all those little intricacies, like with Ulcerate.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that RYM score. Look at it. They don't drop below a 3.25.
Which is insane. It's funny that Loam's the 3.25, because that's my favorite Kraulis record.
Right. Well, yeah,
I don't know. It feels kind of bad that, like, every time we find a new like album that's universally beloved by the Brooklyn hipster elite class of music critics, we're like, yeah, it's pretty good, but it's Kraulis, man. They don't miss.
Yeah.
This record's incredible. It'll be somewhere on their year-end list probably.
Oh, certainly. I have no doubt in my mind that it will be.
Speaking of other records that should be on our year-ends list, no, just kidding. American football. Funnily enough, a friend who me and Adam both know from high school, who was never really into music, is now super into
don't
math
even
rock
tell me that.
And like emo,
oh
and Midwest emo,
God.
And I've been hanging out with them at school, and every time I see them, they're like, "Yo, let's throw on some American football."
Jesus Christ!
So I've been listening to a lot of American football.
Not a bad thing. But certainly an interesting thing all these years later.
Yeah, there's
funny.
Not too much to be said about them. Other than that, it's literally the template for every piece of emo-influenced music you've heard for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
So. But speaking of that, you listen to the Dreamwell record?
No, but I heard you listening to it. I didn't know. I don't know what this is. Please explain to me.
Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me just find out where they're from real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dreamwell. Oh, came up with a board game.
Lol.
Dreamwell are okay, I'm just trying to find some basic instruments.
No, you're fine.
So,
are they on Metalum? Are they a metal band?
Oh, they're from New England. They're a Providence emo post-hardcore band with a healthy dosage of post-rock. Think like Touche Amore, except with more clean spoken word sections and a lot more like in very cathartic climaxes. If you've heard any brand of post-orchid, post-hardcore, you kind of know what you're in for.
Mm-hmm.
But these guys, like, honestly, what artists that remind me of more than anything else is Caspian.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have those really drawn out, like, you know, post-rock things that you do with the tom, like, doing a melody while the guitars just get shoegazier and shoegazier.
Right.
And then on top of that, you get the emo, like, I was never loved, but yeah, or something. And it's all delivered in that one vocal style. I will say I cringed a little bit at some of the more direct lyrics on here, but I mean, I don't know. It's pretty good for what it is. Right now it's like a 3.7 on RYM for whatever reason.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, no, I mean, you'll probably be like, this isn't bad, but...
Not exactly my cup of tea.
No, it's really good, though. It's pretty good.
Pretty
good.
All right.
Definitely like the post-art school type of screamo.
Okay.
Like, all the lyrics are like, the sky was red, and I was in a pastoral haze of yesterday's memories. Stuff like that. But it's good, and there's a reason why it's really high on RYM's charts right now.
Yeah. Makes sense. People like good music and rate good music highly, so yeah. It's got at least some value.
Unlike... Actually, I don't even know if you listen to any bad music this week.
I didn't listen to any
other than
music.
Architects.
Yeah.
Other than Tally Hall.
Unrelated. Not subject. I'm not a big fan, but a lot of people like that. That music actually is rated pretty high on RYM. I think that record has a 3.6. But anyway, good music, as in the new Flesh of the Stars release that is currently disputed as an LP and an EP across sources. Mirror Vessels, which came out on Friday independently. I fucking love this album. I think it's Flesh of the Stars at their prime. I re-listened to Mercy as well a couple of times, and I like this album a little bit more. I really like the sort of... I mean, well, if you don't know who Flesh of the Stars are, they're a very interesting doom metal band that utilizes electronics, very spacious production, and intense use of melody to make really wonderful music. But
Adam, there are 2 digital remixes on this album.
Well, now hold on. I would agree. However, they serve as the end. So the way the record is set up is you have Mirror as the first song. Then you have the electronic realization of Mirror as the second track. Then you have the syncing, quote-unquote, realization of Vessels as the third track. Excuse me. And then you have Vessels as the final track. So the realizations serve as like an outro and an intro track for the 2 tracks. Like they do flow into the other. Like at least I interpreted it as you need to listen to them. They're a part of the track, and they do have the same melodies and all that blah 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 bullshit that you do when you do something like that. So if you just take it sort of looking at it like a 15-minute track and a 15-minute track, which is I think the way you're supposed to look at it, then like I don't know, this record doesn't miss. Both of these songs, Mirror and Vessels, are amazing, takes on the band's sound that, they've mastered up to their 10-year career at this point.
Dang.
They're just, they're really awesome. It's also, it's heavy, but it's not too heavy. If you're at all familiar with the group, their sound, it feels like a live recording of the sound always. But it's very nice. And fun fact, you know who produced this album?
Who?
Godspeed You Black Emperor producer, Silvermount Zion producer, and Big Brave producer.
Non-Desuka?
Yeah. So...
Oh yeah, new Godspeed album. Gosh, we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. But yes, this record sounds great. The melodies are super sticky. It's funny, at one point, the vocalist, he goes into his like super high falsetto, and oh man, does he sound like Chris Martin from Coldplay. No, it's like it's identical. I'm literally listening to, like...
And I will fall.
No, literally.
No,
it's really funny. I was taken aback, but all the performances are super impressive. Everything's super heavy. This album's awesome. Just check it out. Yeah.
Wow, that's a glowing review.
Well, I did also write a review about it, which you can check out on the website right now.
Fair enough.
What else, Sam? What else you got?
Let's see. Listen to the Deaf Heaven live album because I was doing some video editing yesterday, and holy heck, dude, that live album's so good.
I've listened to it once. I gotta listen to it again. I was gonna listen to it last night, but I neglected to.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just, dude, like, Deaf Heaven are a great live band, and I feel like, excuse me one second. I feel like their live show really captures something that the records can't, because it's a lot more visceral, it's a lot more shoegazy, it's a lot more chaotic, and their songs always build to these ludicrous, like, post-rock explosions in the sky climaxes, and this live recording really captures that. George sounds on fleek. There are a lot of, like, really subtle, like, imperfections that really add to the music, and for a lot of people that complain about, I guess... the sterility of their studio records. This sounds very alive, very organic.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, I was wearing my Sunbather t-shirt yesterday, walking around campus, and a random person was like, "Hey, nice Sunbather shirt, dude." That's the first time that's ever happened to me on campus.
Interesting. Intriguing. Well,
so I guess Deaf Heaven are just the biggest black metal band ever.
Yep. I would agree with that.
Also, a little bit of an aside on this Cult of Luna EP, because I listened to that again too, and wow, it really is just the most Cult of Luna that ever Cult of Luna.
Yes. It doesn't mean it's not good, but yes, it is absolutely full Cult of Luna.
They're just like, yo, what if we do exactly what we've done for the past 15 years, but on this EP?
Yep. I can agree with that.
I think that's honestly all I have for music. Drake's new, like, 3-song mixtape, EP, whatever you want to call it. Holy heck. What's Next is, like, the best pop rap banger of his career. I've been getting hyped every morning to it.
Jesus Christ.
It's really, it's really fun.
To it yet.
It's great. It's really good.
Okay, all right. I will peep.
Were you excited for the new Shushu record?
Am I excited for the new Shushu record? Of course I'm excited for the new Shushu.
Dude, I had a dream about Shushu, actually, that I think would be funny to tell here.
Jamie Stewart, tell away.
So I was living, for whatever reason, it was the year 2003, and Jamie Stewart was recording A Promise, right? Which, keep in mind, I don't like Shushu at all. I've listened to basically Jamie's entire discography, and not once have I been like, yeah, this is good.
I love Shushu, for the record.
I know you do. That's why I'm bringing it up. But so we were in my New England household, and for whatever reason, I was like my age now in like my 3-year-old body, and it was really coked out. But we had turned my bedroom. By we, I mean me, my dad, Kurt Ballou, Nate Newton, Aaron Turner, and Steve Albini had turned my childhood bedroom into like a full recording studio. And we're just recording songs from The Promise, except in full like sludge/noise rock mode, and it was absurd. It was nuts. I couldn't even explain what was happening.
Sam, that's a sign. You understand that? That's a call from God telling you what to do. Okay.
No, dude, I'm literally like a messiah. This is the future. We're gonna be recording a Shushu record with Kurt Ballou and like everyone from the mass metalcore scene. It was nuts. Christ. It was nuts. And then it's funny because like they were literally like, actually, funnily enough, I know A Promise pretty well, and all the songs they were recording were like really cool sludge versions of it. So like, I don't even like Sad Pony Gorilla Girl, but the sludge version,
the sludge version bangs,
dude. It kind of slapped. So I don't know. Maybe that's just a sign from God, and we need to cover A Promise, except make it metal.
Oh my god. I think it is a sign from God. But anyway.
No, this is immortalized on the internet.
Oh, good. I'm glad. You know it's coming, okay? Get pumped. Jesus
Get pumped
Christ.
for PMMetalGuide covers. A promise.
Oh my goodness.
All right, I'm sorry. That was definitely a tangent.
That's a good tangent. That's funny. That's a good story. All right, there's just a few more records I want to talk about. First of all, I sent this record to you, but I think you might have skipped it in your thing. It's okay. There's a band.
Disposal.
Yes, Disposal.
Look, you sent me a lot of records, bro.
Yeah, I know. They're a death metal band. I don't know exactly from where, and I should, so I'm gonna look it up. But
a Floridian death metal band. Call me crazy.
They are from Minnesota. However, they're unique. The thing that makes Disposal unique is that the music, at least in its primary form, does not have a vocalist. In place, there is, in fact, a garbage disposal that serves as the vocalist for the group. So it's a 4-song EP, and there are two versions of it. There's the real version, and then I wanna look up what it says. The Bandcamp has it's very colorful. Let me try and locate it here. That's the wrong record. That is the wrong record. That's another record that we talked about before, but not what I want. There it is. Disposal. So yeah, like I said, 4-song EP. I'm just gonna read the Bandcamp description. Death metal as God intended. It sounds like garbage. Literally. Disposal is all about dumb fucking ideas. Take some dumb fucking HM2 riffs and throw an actual garbage disposal over the top for vocals, and you've got yourself a recipe for success. You'll feel your brain getting smoother and your knuckles chafing as you listen to this. Eat your heart out.
I love how they recorded it with an HM2.
Eat your heart out, Gore Grind. Also includes versions with a human vocalist if you're a fucking coward. So check out this Disposal record. I think it's okay.
If you had just sent me that pitch, I would have listened to it immediately.
Well, I didn't want to spoil it. I wanted you to look at it and see it for all its glory. Now you got to hear it. I mean, it's about as entertaining as you can expect. Because,
where'd you find this,
dude? The ads, dude. Someone reported on it. I think it might have been Toilet of Hell or No Clean Singing. I don't remember. But someone did. So that one exists. Another record
I feel like my life has been made strictly better.
Yeah, it should now that you have this at your disposal. There's a couple more records that I've been peeping because I actually listened to a lot of music this week. There's a French melodic and industrial black metal band entitled Sol Draconi Septum, who just dropped their debut Hyperion, and it's a band about the Hyperion Cantos fucking sci-fi novels. I've never read them, but I have listened to this record a couple of times, and I will say this album is extremely fucking unique. It is it's kind of like if you made black metal with, like, only synths and synthesizers and saxophone. But, like, there's certainly classic black metal in here. It's very mid-paced, very epic, sort of like, I don't know, some, like, epic black metal, like Keys of Orthanc and stuff like that. It's okay. I would listen to it again. It's growing on me, but the record uses a lot of really weird songwriting techniques and weird instrumentation. It's kind of weird. It's better if you just listen to it, but know that it's a trip, certainly. And then finally, I think I only have one more thing I want to talk about. There's a record called Salamander by a progressive / melodic doom metal band by the name of Murnau, who have dropped their second record after last year. And it's sort of a mix between like hard rocking doom metal and like long form post sludge. Like half the tracks are like 3-4 minutes and are just kind of like classic doom metal tracks, and they're really good. Kind of lo-fi, but then you get the longer tracks like Soliloquy and Answers, which is like 12 minutes, and it really starts to break into post rock territory. But there's still a heavy rock edge. It's pretty interesting. Check that one out if you want to. But otherwise, I think we're ready.
Before we start talking about real music, I listened to the first Disposal track and I legitimately laughed out loud. That was hysterical.
Yeah, it is as entertaining as you expect it to be.
It's even funnier that like it kind of worked.
No, it does. Like, it does kind of work.
Like, you could tell me that was a dude, and I honestly would believe you.
Yeah. It's pretty fucking funny.
Wait, I think I had one more like absolutely useless tangent I wanted to bring up.
Bring it up.
Let me look at your 3x3. Ugh, it's gone. Alas.
The tangent's gone? Was it something about Madison Beer? Or Les Chants de Niel? How do you say Nile in French? How would you say that?
Nile? I don't know.
Well, like...
What do I look like? Someone that speaks French?
Well, like... I don't know. We both took French in high school. Like, I could say Les Chants de...
That was 30 years ago, Adam. I don't even remember what French is.
Very true.
Is it a country? Is it a way of life?
Also, check out the Les Chants de Nile record. It's pretty freaking good. Modern black metal. Anyway, what were you... Did you come back with the tangent or no?
Well, I have an unrelated tangent, but...
Go on the tangent. Go on the tangent. This is the time.
I heard Touche Amore's 2016 record.
That's the one about his mom having cancer, right?
Yeah.
I remember listening to that record when it came out. And what did you think, Sam?
It's exactly what I expected, and somehow not as good as a lament.
That makes sense.
But you know what? Let's talk about like the greatest goddamn metal album of all time.
Whoa, which one is that?
Little known record by this little small band. They're called Opeth. It's called Blackwater Park.
Well, this is the one, folks. If you're gonna listen to any episode of this fucking podcast, it's this one.
We're just gonna be slobbering all over the knob of Michael Ackerfeld and Steven Wilson's love child.
Yeah, no, this is a very interesting record, isn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting production, interesting creation process. Yeah.
Well, so Adam, let's get this out of the way. Is this album a 10?
I think usually we save that for the end. But yes,
yeah,
I think this album is a 10. I think this is as 10 as 10 gets. You know, well, yeah. Obviously you have to be a metalhead to think that, and I think that even I was re-listening to it, and obviously, you know, you can have a different point of view when you're going into it. If you're not a metalhead, like I sort of, one of my friends, I recommended Bloom to him, right? And by Caligula's Horse.
By Marigold?
By Marigold, is what I was about to say, yeah. I recommended to him by Bloom, and he thought it was like a 7. Now, granted, he's not a metal listener, or a prog listener at all, so I kind of get it. Like, I understand that, like, the record only does so much for someone who, you know, doesn't like that type of music. And I think that for this record, you could probably argue for an 8 or a 9 without sort of the context that it holds, but I think that this is a 10. This is a 10.
I mean, just like looking back on it now, like when people think of like landmark metal albums that weren't released in the year like 1963 by Black Sabbath, or
right,
the Big Four thrash bands, or early Floridian Death, or the second wave black metal, like this is the metal record.
Yeah.
It's Like, it's pretty universally beloved, universally seen as perfect.
Is it still the number one album on Metal Storm? I'm going to check right now.
It may be. I mean, anyone that's listened to metal in the 2000s probably knows this record, probably likes it for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's funny, because I remember when I first heard this record, I'd just gone off of, like, months of grinding nothing but, like, first wave gent. And initially I was like, oh, this is good, but it's not that good.
Oh, it is not. It has dropped to number 3. It's behind Rust in Peace and Symbolic.
Well, those are both good records, but it's on Blackwater Park.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and then, here we are a few years later being like, oh, yeah, it's just the best metal record ever. Like, Blackwater Park is nearly perfect in every way, shape, or form, and its influence and the way that it sort of touched every aspect of the metal canon is pretty good.
If any one of our sort of segments in this show will be more repetitive than any of them before, it will be this one. Because
this song's perfect.
No, literally, we're gonna be like, oh my god, this song 10, which is
10,
it's
so
just,
great.
It's just true, because every song on this record, for the most part, is like a 10, and overall, the package just, it's all there. This album literally does everything that it sets out to do perfectly.
Yep, and I mean, I guess let's dive a little bit into the context.
Sure.
So Still Life, which, pretty damn good record, talked about it last week, was a huge commercial flop. They'd signed on to Peaceville for global distribution, and for whatever reason, the record took 2 years to get released globally.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, Michael and the boys were like, well, shit. And they signed to another label, and they were like, okay, look, we know your music's good, and you probably have some commercial potential. Just make another record.
Right.
And this label had a lot more funding. I think it's Music for World Music or something? Music for Nations and / Coke.
I don't even know. I've never heard of that fucking label.
And yeah, they ended up recording the album with Steven Wilson of Porcupine Tree and Everything Else fame. Michael and Steve got a bromance, and they entered the studio with half the tracks done, wrote and finished the rest of the tracks in the studio. Took 3 months to do absolutely everything, and then it was released in 2001. And I guess the rest is history. It sort of almost immediately blew up. We've got a huge worldwide market, and suddenly Opeth were kind of household names in the world of metal at the time. They weren't as big as the new metal bands, who were also cresting in popularity at that time, but they were pretty damn big. Yeah. And they've held that status since.
I think it's pretty amazing that, this is their record. This is their time to shine. I don't know. It's cool. I'm excited to discuss this record.
I feel like more so than any of the records on this list. I know Blackwater Park like the back of my hand.
Right.
I know every single guitar part on this record. I can play the whole thing on bass. Basically every lyric's ingrained into my memory. Every part of this record. It's great. This is one of those records where regardless how I'm feeling, I can just throw it on, get hype as fuck for the Leper Affinity, cry to Bleak Harvest, Dirge for November, do the "It Was Me" funeral portrait, and then actually slaughter whoever's around me when the sun sets forever over Blackwater Park. It's front to back. This record is amazing. It really is flawless. The performances are impeccable. The compositions are the absolute height of Opeth's and Michael in particular sonic career. It sounds like this is one of the best produced records I've ever heard. The first thing that hits you, especially if you're going chronologically in the Opeth discography, is just how damn good it is. Steven Wilson's mix and the production done by the other people on this record, it sounds so modern, but also has this really nice vintage quality to it. Every instrument is perfectly EQ'd in the mix. The tones are all there, and gosh, it's just what an album.
Yeah, what an album. But I guess we can just jump right into things. We don't want to gorge too much of our fucking I don't know what I was gonna say, but we don't want to spill all the beans yet. We just talk track by track.
Let me just whip out the genius so I can.
Whip out the genius.
Also, funnily enough, this record isn't quite a concept album, but all the songs are about death in one way or another.
Yep.
And I actually really love the lyrics on this record.
You have what?
I really love the lyrics on this record.
Oh, you love the lyrics? Well, yeah, I mean, you could argue this the peak of their lyric writing career as well.
Yeah, I mean, it really, like, toes the line between being, like, tastelessly, like, memey and just absolutely badass and everything, you know, channeling a lot of the dark romanticism we've oft talked about on this show. So, I guess we'll begin with, like, the best album opener ever. I mean, Leper Affinity, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, whenever I pick up a guitar, the first riff I play is that opening Leper Affinity riff. It's in 6/8. It is the definition of an Acker riff.
Yeah, it doesn't get more Opethy than this.
Right here. And, like, the way you kind of hear, like, this organ dissonance swell into... And, you know, it loops that like 4 times. Then Michael comes in with his vocals somehow sounding even more unhinged and demonic on the previous record. We enter winter once again. Oh, it just gets me, like, just thinking about it gets me hype. I want to punch someone. I want to start crowd killing.
I don't know. I mean, I am envious of the 2001 Opeth mosh. So, yeah, I agree. Yeah,
and, like, you know, Martin Lopez, the two Martins are just absolutely nailing the rhythm section as always. This is a nice clave beat, actually, taken from Bossa Nova. The bass is fun. And on this record, too, something you just kind of forget is how good every transition is. Like, right from that first, you know, that you go into the, your body is mine to avail, and they're doing more of like a chordal, like, harmony thing. And the turnaround where it's... It's just so, it's so
it sounds like BT Bam at their prime of songwriting, which is kind of hard to, you know, put your hand behind, but, like, you're right, this, like, these transitions just, they're so natural and they don't sound out of place whatsoever, but they still keep that proggy, you know, jaunt that, you know, comes with their territory. So and, like, I mean, I love a lot of, like, the like intricate but not in your face guitar work here, like that riff where it's well, yeah, I mean, this record, like, sure, it's technical and, like, they're all super good at their instruments, but, like, it is really simple relatively.
Yeah, comparatively you compare this to, like, I don't know, let's say, like, Archspire or whatever.
No, yeah.
And that can, you know, sometimes the technicality can obfuscate really good songwriting, but with Opeth, it really is used to augment it. Yeah. And, like, I think, like, that amazing solo around the 3-minute mark, which I still get in my head sometimes, in the way it ends with, like, the dissonant lead, and then everything breaks away, and you just get the dual guitars. It's so infectious, and every like, all the riffs here, like, this record, I feel like more so than any of the Opeth records, is just riff after riff after riff.
Yeah. I mean, there's no time to play around, you know? They're just going the whole time. No one really takes a break in this album.
Oh, totally. And, like, the songs just feel, like, connected by something, like, holier than thou. Right. Like, you gotta be like, how the hell did they write transitions between such amazing parts so perfectly? Like, the way you naturally sort of build into the lead melody here. It's really cool. You got the harmonized guitars, and it gives way to that classic Opeth clean section.
Right. And I remember oh, no, you can go for it.
Sorry. I was gonna say, like, I remember the first time, like, listening to this record, you hear like the 5-minute mark, and suddenly it's and there's acoustic guitars, you got a little nice synth, you got layered vocals, and Michael's all like, "Lost are days of spring."
Comparatively to Sam, these clean vocals sound great.
Ouch, dude.
No, but they really do, like, Michael he's not straining on this record. The clean vocals are perfectly in his range. You know, the melodies that he has are even more impressive than they were on Still Life, and even more catchy and memorable. I mean, I can sing all the clean sections on this record.
Oh, totally.
Like, you know, it's just they're perfect. They're so memorable, and they wonderfully fit the acoustic bullshit that's going on below it.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, just the way this section in particular builds tension's gorgeous. And I love like Wilson's usage of vocoders and filtered vocals on this record.
Absolutely.
Like in certain sections, like in this, in Harvest, in Drapery Falls, and Dirge for November, it really adds a nice quality to the clean parts.
Yeah.
That makes them like stick out as their own instrument, and I don't know, just
it's really unique.
Punchier.
It's really unique too. Because it's not like it uses it the whole time for a whole section. It'll bounce between the cleans and the vocoder, which is, I mean, that's really interesting, at least to me. I've never really heard that.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I know it's funny because he was probably influenced by this, but it reminds me of, like, Michael Lessard's from, like, the later era Contortionist, where they're just a lot of subtle vocal layers that don't take away from it, but really add to, like, a nice whole. Yeah. And the way this acoustic section builds into like the climax of the song is legendary. Yeah. Like you get the relatively simple chord switches to the do 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 do, and then suddenly Peter's doing some absolute shreds. Yeah. And every lick here is just amazing.
They really just, I don't know why, but. And it's funny that you mentioned that, like, this record was only half done, and that they just kind of made it up as they went, because it really doesn't feel like it.
Oh, yeah. Like, you listen to, like, records that people have worked on for, like, 10 plus years sometimes, and you're like, wait, really?
Yeah. It's funny that, I mean, this one, didn't have as quick of a turnaround as, like, Still Life or anything, but, like, it's still super impressive.
Yeah, these songs all feel like fully germinated to an absurd extent. Mm-hmm. And another thing which I'm sure we'll touch upon is that every track on this record has a different form. One flaw in Still Life, still amazing record, talked about it last week. But one flaw in Still Life is that basically every song has the same structure. Yeah. You got like an intro, a pretty long verse, chorus, pretty long verse, bridge, chorus out, some variation of that. And on this record, it's a little different. Like, this song doesn't have a chorus. You just got a bunch of verse, a clean section, a reprise of the previous verse, and then the outro. Mm. And the outro here is really when, like, the godliness of, like, Wilson's layering abilities come into play. Like, you have, like, 8 guitars all, like, doing leads on top of each other. These sick-ass chord progressions. And it all just sort of resolves into, like, a really subtle... like piano outro.
It's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
And is this the first record to like prominently feature piano in Opeth's discography?
I think so. I mean, you have those early occasional interludes on stuff like Orchid, and I think there was a little bit of piano on Still Life, but not nearly as much as there is here.
Yeah, and it adds something to it. Like, it has a really nice, like, ethereal quality, a return to, like, prog's roots. That's very, very homey, very warm.
No, it's so... It really feels, I guess... I don't know, it works perfectly, man. Like, there's no real way better to say it. But, like, they just do such a good job balancing all these aspects of their sound that they've already, implemented and continuing to expand even still on their 5th record.
No, I agree. And, like, it's so nice because, like, when you listen to a lot of mediocre music for whatever reason, hearing a band just, like, knock something so unbelievably far out of the park is really just a breath of fresh air.
Oh yeah. Like, I mean, there's nothing really like it. You're so relieved by that,
Yeah.
Like I don't know. This is like kind of a weird example, but I think it fits. Like, I don't know, when we heard Love Exchange Failure drop in 2019, I think both of our jaws collectively hit the floor. Now that album's not a 10 by any means, but like, it's a perfect evolution of sound. And, like, every single one of most of the tracks on that record are just, like, they're just perfect. And obviously, Opeth does it a little bit better, but it's the same sort of thing.
No, 100%.
They just
I was gonna say it's sort of the antithesis to something like Fear Inoculum, because Fear Inoculum is like something that is so close to being great. All the parts are there. You just get the sense that the band, if they had changed things a little bit, you would have had a near perfect record. But Opeth were like, no. Michael Acker, the Chad Okerfeldt, was like, all right, guys, we're going to write the best goddamn death metal songs ever put to pen right here, right now.
And you know what? They do. I don't know. You could argue Symbolic's a better record, but a lot of people would. But regardless, in terms of prog,
there's a reason this got #1 best prog metal album of all time in like 80 polls ever.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I mean, oh no, you go.
I was just gonna say, like, I just want to highlight some, like, because the lines on this album in particular are just sick. Like, they're so cool. It just has it calls back to like the heyday of like 80s metal, when metal was just the coolest, like, mixture of like occult imagery and anti-establishment themes in this weird response to nature. Like the chorus, your body is mine to avail, such a tragic sight you are, slave under my creed, spurn me with those tears. Or like a step from oblivion, moving into the dim lights, hiding within a reverie, it was worth it for the wait alone. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's sick.
but it's awesome. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, all you said it. The lyrics on this album are probably the best that Opeth gets as well, in terms of all of them. Granted, it doesn't have a focus point, something like where Still Life did, but even still, I think that might be a benefit, because they don't really have the restriction of anything.
Yeah, it's more like a Dark Side of the Moon concept, in the sense that everything sort of resolves around death and loss and our collective experience moving forward, but it's not in your face about it.
Yeah.
And this song in particular, The Leper Affinity, is about like a strained relationship between two people. Maybe lepers, maybe lovers, maybe one that's dead. It's very vague.
Who knows?
But the lyrics are effing sick.
Yeah, they're really cool. They paint a really nice picture of just what it's trying to convey.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I don't know if it really exactly fits the style of some of these tracks, but I mean, it certainly works. Because I don't know, I think that I don't know, I think the Opeth lyrics certainly fit more into when it puts that into context, like on Still Life. Obviously these lyrics are way better than the ones on Still Life, but I think that those fit a little bit more. Not a critique. Just something to notice. Yeah,
no, I feel you.
But anyway, you're right.
Ready to talk about AMG's least favorite Opeth song?
You know what? I don't know. I don't agree. I like this song.
No, the thing about Bleak is it's kind of a meme, and you gotta accept the meme, but once you move past it, it's just, the sickest metal melodic thing you've ever heard in your life.
And the main riff, it hits so hard.
It's like if John Petrucci, when writing Home, was like, all right, what if our band didn't suck ass?
Yeah.
Because it really is very similar to that.
It is. Yeah. Now that I'm listening to it again, and I'm like, oh my god, it is the same fucking thing.
I will say, the intro to the song is pretty perfect too. Start on beat 1, you just get these distortion swells. Martin Lopez is doing I don't know, some fill stuff.
Yeah.
There's there are 8 acoustic guitars doing random things. Then you get a fill into that riff.
Into the riff. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, it's just it's so exciting. It gets you in the mood. It's it's Middle Eastern. It's distinctly different, but it still feels like something that would work in an Opeth song. The fact that every tone here is immaculate really helps.
Yeah. Where the fuck is the Neural DSP Opeth plugin, dude?
Actually, this is an aside, but I've spent so much goddamn time trying to figure out exactly what Opeth used on like this era of their recording, and it's bizarre because it really is a mix of like 8 different amps.
That's weird.
The way they got the tone for this album was by blending together a Laney, a Marshall, and a Peavey.
Gotcha. Well, for
which
all
makes
of you,
sense.
Okay, makes sense.
Well, because there's a pretty big difference between British and American tone.
Right.
British is a lot like fuzzier. It's a lot more mid-focused, whereas American is like, think Eddie Van Halen, think like high-pitched, think like trebly, think Dime, think that horrible tone. And so this album is sort of the best of both worlds guitar-wise, because you got that really well-rounded British bite with the nice aggressive crunch in the top end of something like a Peavey. And it comes through wonderfully here.
Yeah, I mean, these guitars sound great. You can really just hear everything on this track. It's just, it's amazing. And this song has a really nice flow throughout it, even though, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I like how, the vocal pattern at the beginning is quite different. He's laying down a word and then expounding upon it. Yeah. And then it does the Opeth thing where they just somehow switch into a totally different riff. Yeah. And it's just the coolest thing ever. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, I really love the, let me get to it so I'm not misrepresenting it. But the like the chorus riff, which, I mean, let's be real. The chorus can be kind of cringe with Steven Wilson, like, being Steven Wilson.
I mean, I still think it's fine. I really, I think it fits very well. And obviously he's a very good performer. So, it sounds fine.
No, I feel you.
Plus the prog collab, dude.
No, I agree.
It's
cool,
great.
and I definitely like the way that the vocal melody interpolates the guitar melody.
Oh yeah,
and the guitar melody here is it's sick. It's like 4 jazz chords played at odd times. You get all the nice bassy fills that are really warm, very spacious.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
I agree.
Awesome. But I don't. I figure out what I was gonna say. Shit. I don't know. This song really transitions well into its back
acoustic
half
section.
Well, yeah, because it goes into the acoustic section and it goes into that nice back half riff that's very similar to the first riff, but slightly changed up from the acoustic section.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was gonna say the acoustic section here is gorgeous.
Oh yeah,
and I love the "Help Me Cure You."
Yeah, it's a super memorable melody.
Yeah, and the guitar, it's really angular. There's there's so many little hits upon the root notes that create a really nice movement through the section.
Yeah.
And then, the Lundgren solo is so tasteful in the way it goes into the it's just sick. It's a really as we've talked about many times, the band knows how to write goddamn climaxes.
Yeah. Does the chorus format work on this song?
I think it does. They're all on an ascendant level of playing. It sounds great and it transitions really nicely. If this song kind of shoehorned the chorus in a little more, if it started with the chorus or it had it in the middle of the acoustic section, I'd be a little annoyed. Sure. But the fact that it just kind of naturally builds.
Yeah, it only happens twice.
Yeah, I agree. And the second time, it just does it a little more.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the pre-chorus riff the second time, which is very typically Acker chordy.
Oh yeah,
that's really gorgeous, and the use of Evo on this track's great too.
Mm-hmm.
It comes back,
of course, dude. Never forget the Evo, dude.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
No, yeah, I agree with you though. Right before the second chorus, when it's just you have one playing the riff and the chugs, and then you have the lead line on top playing that nice sort of shrill melody. Sounds really good. Sounds great.
I agree. And I mean, I like how the chorus sort of gets longer on the second time. They switched up a little.
Hey, that's called good songwriting, folks.
Yeah, no, and the ending is super sick too.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, I don't know. We could go into the lyrics on this track a little bit, seeing as I don't know, they're kind of important, and you can actually hear most of them. We'll talk about, I guess, Steven Wilson's devious moments in your eyes move me from relief. Breath comes out white clouds with your lies and filters through me. It's pretty cool. It's not too corny, but this guy got cheated on, the poor man. And then he's got to kill. He kills his lover and then dumps her into a lake. Just kind of funny. It's really... it's kind of funny because you really have this nice choral harmony between Michael and Steven Wilson, who they both have very good clean vocals, or at least they're very talented tenor and baritones alike. So it's just funny to sort of listen to them sing about this stuff. It's pretty entertaining, but overall, obviously, Bleak, although it's kind of memey a lot of the time, certainly a great cut. Through and through, over and over again.
I agree.
Great song, yeah. Great song. I was talking about lyrics, and how sort of the even though like the song is kind of pretty corny and shit, the lyrics are pretty they're pretty funny, and they're like they have a very nice the harmony in the chorus is really pretty, and they both are of course great clean vocalists as well. Yet they're singing about killing a woman and dumping her, or killing a person and dumping them into a lake. But yeah, I don't know. That is what I mentioned.
Fair. No, I will say they both have choir boy tenors.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you like the little pixel breakdown at the very end of the song?
The pixel breakdown is funny.
Yeah,
and
then it's yeah. No, the lyrics are kind of memey, but I don't know.
Kind of
like this song doesn't deserve the hate it gets. It's like absolutely amazing, and the fact that it's like so much more melodic than what immediately came before it, while still maintaining a lot of that aggressive edge, is like peak Opeth.
Yes, I agree with that.
And it definitely helps with the flow of a record.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Devious movements in your eyes.
Yeah, it is memey, but I don't know. It's great. It is.
Yeah, it really is. And like you cannot beat that guitar slide into that opening riff.
No, not at all. Not at all. Well, shall we move on to the one of the shortest real tracks on this record? Actually, the shortest real track on this record.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I mean, we sort of talked about last week how Benighted, it just felt a little bigger, wish they did a little more with it. Right. And this song is exactly how you should do that.
Guess what? Harvest is exactly that. And thank God, because this song's great. What a nice,
gorgeous.
What a nice way to do the classic Opeth, have 2 death metal cuts and then a nice little acoustic interlude track.
Do they do this on every single album up to this point? Except for Watershed?
Not Morning Rise.
Morning Rise. I don't know why I always confuse them, but yes, they do. That's funny.
Not Morning Rise, but every other record, yes. Well, no, not My Arms either.
My Arms has April Ethereal.
That's the second track, though.
Sorry,
because that is the opener. April
Ethereal. Madrigal. That is Madrigal.
Okay. Yes. So yes, that is the way it goes. But yeah, no, this track, so gorgeous. Like, Michael's voice is, it's so pulled back, it's so reserved, he's not straining at all. The acoustic guitar beneath him sounds absolutely great. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's so pretty, and it perfectly works for what it wants to do.
Yeah, no, and like, this is one of the few Opeth songs that actually works really well if it's just you with an acoustic guitar.
Yeah,
because it has this really gorgeous E minor chord that just kind of drones throughout. Like, I love that intro. It's just it's very open, and funnily enough, like, I was reading the Stereogum article before this before this, and the fact that this record has a song called Harvest almost kind of calls back to Neil Young and sort of grabs from that whole generation of singer-songwriters.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about that. Huh.
Yeah, it's something to consider. And the lead melodies here are gorgeous. They're just blissed out enough. I love the way the song layers guitars throughout and just kind of builds.
Right.
And the vocal melodies themselves are great. The "Stay with me," oh.
Yeah, I mean, Michael doesn't really have to try too much to sound good, as we've sort of put that out there already. But I don't know. I mean, it's just a really nice. It's certainly the best job they've done at this style, in this place in the album. And I really think that the full instrumentation from the beginning of the track helps that a lot. Whereas, Benighted had it starts acoustic, only acoustic, and then it comes back in with everything else.
Yeah, no, and all the rhythm section on the song has so many cool flourishes. Yeah. Mendez's bass is so goddamn warm, and the way he'll do little fills and resolve on the roots, super satisfying. And Lopez's fills, where he'll do a pretty subtle cymbal thing to mark the start of a new bar, is very nice.
I really like, speaking of the drums, I love the tom stuff that happens in the bridge around the fucking 3.5 minute mark, where it's kind of subtle, and maybe it's just because I've been trying to learn this track on drums, but every time the sort of riff repeats, they're trying something new on the drums, and it's really cool. At least I think so.
Yeah, no, it's cool, and I like the solo section here. I also love that through this entire song, Peter's sort of just doing I'm sure it's not improv because it's prog, but something that sounds very spur of the moment.
No, yeah, it is very natural.
And this is a song that doesn't it could pass if you sung this at an open mic night. It could pass as a folk song.
Yeah, you could totally pull it off without the extra instrumentation. So good job for versatile songwriting there, Opeth.
There you go. Yeah, and the lyrics here are pretty nice. They're actually kind of sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It's this dude who's dying, and he's like, "Oh man, I wish that as I was dying, I had someone with me."
Sad boy, dude. Sad boy.
You get the orchid imagery, which is great. Drained by the cold caress, stalking shadows ahead. Halo of death, all I see is departure. Mourners lament, but it's me who's the martyr.
Sad.
It's
sad.
And I love just that big sweeping reverby chord that opens the chorus every time.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I know Adam and I don't really like interlude tracks, but this song works perfectly to break up the track list.
Well, this isn't even really we've sort of been into it that this isn't even really an interlude track.
Yeah, it's just a shorter track that once again breaks up the track list and leads perfectly into Drapery Falls, which is one of the best Opeth songs, period.
My favorite Opeth song, arguably.
Really?
Yes.
No, bro. My favorite Opeth song's Soldier of Fortune.
Damn.
I hate Soldier of Fortune.
Banger.
We'll get to that, though.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about, the best song ever, Drapery Falls?
I mean, I fucking love it. It's great. You have that really nice, just acoustic strumming bullshit, and then the quick little tom fill into the sort of... It's sort of like Harvest in how it approaches the riff, where it just kind of I'm trying to explain it where.
Well, the riff kind of drones on throughout and has the pulse of the riff through a lot of the song. It
takes a while to get going, but it sounds really nice while it's doing that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, it's so gorgeous, when everything does come in and, the drums are there and the bass is doing, it's do 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 do.
Yeah.
And you have this crazy, coked out guitar that's filtered, chorus, delayed, reverb, and it adds so much. And just that core, riff is so satisfying under distortion. Because, what he's doing is Michael and Peter are playing like really big jazz chords, and they're just extending up a minor second, and then coming back to it.
Gotcha.
And it has this really nice circular flow to it because it's all in 6/8, or most of it is.
Right.
And it's just very satisfying, and it's very somber in a way that you wouldn't expect from, two death metal cuts that just melted your face off.
No, seriously, this song is rather forlorn, and it doesn't lean too heavily into the fact that, like, this is a death metal band at heart. It really has a nice and sort of melodious progression throughout.
Yeah. Oh, I just found out that the song was actually a single.
Was it a single for the record?
Yeah.
It makes
and
sense.
It charted in Scandinavia.
As it does. As you do.
Yeah, and I mean, I love the way, we go from like sort of the roaring sections to very diminished, with just a very subtle acoustic guitar and the cool lead guitar, and we get Michael's filtered vocals.
I love this clean section. I love the verse section in this song. It makes me so happy.
I know.
I love the lyrics, and then when it just absolutely explodes into the refrain, it's so awesome.
Pull me down again. Yeah, no, it's sick.
Yeah, it's super super cool, and of course, all of the instruments throughout this part they sound great.
I agree.
That hasn't changed.
And I mean, I particularly love how like it sort of goes into the big pull me down again, and then goes back to the clean section, and then we go into full death metal territory after the next one,
right?
And guide me into
this kind of is like a prog fan's best friend, just a little bit. But, like, I don't know. It's great. Like,
no, the solo here is super tasteful, too.
Yeah. This song, I don't know. If you're going to show anyone... No, that's weird. We say that a lot. But, like, this song...
You say that a lot.
Of all the tracks on this record, this is probably one of the more accessible, fully realized Opeth tracks, with all the bells and whistles that Opeth likes to utilize.
Yeah, I mean, it's even like the death metal part here. Yeah. It's like pretty simple. It really sounds like something from Damnation. The and the and then you get the tom fills.
Yeah.
Into yet another solo.
Man, this is great. This album's just great.
This album is just amazing, and this song, spoiler alert, is also just amazing.
Turns out good music is good. I mean, obviously this is just... We're halfway through the track list at this point, and we've had nothing but a glowing review, and it's only gonna get better.
Yeah. No, like, I absolutely love the riff for verse 4. Like, which kind of honestly sounds like Apostle and Triumph a little, like.
Oh yeah, the prog breakdown.
Yeah, like that's super sick.
Yeah,
and I like how fun. We go back into the acoustic section to just go balls to the walls in the second half of the refrain. Yeah, with autumn leaves left in the wake to fade away. It's just sick. It's so sick.
yeah. This I don't know. This song, it's really dynamic. It goes back and forth throughout the entire song, and this track does have a lot of that prog experimentation. That well, I don't know if I'd call it experimentation, but the proggy, bullshit that we all know and love. This track is full of. So. That's why I love it.
This is like one of the few fade outs I feel works. Like,
yeah,
the ending is it's such a great ending where you turn to that intro motif again. It gets bigger and bigger. I like when Lopez goes with the double bass. It really adds something nice to it, and then we just fade out, and it's really gorgeous. I don't know, it just works.
I agree. I completely agree. What are the lyrics about on this song?
It's basically about sadness, depression, the things that come with loss. Like, please remedy my confusion, thrust me back to the day. There's failure inside. This test I can't persist. Kept back by the enigma. No criteria is demanded here.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and like waking up to your sound again and lapse into the ways of misery. Like it's pretty direct. Like he's a sad boy.
Oh, that's so epic.
Yeah, and I feel like there's some subtle like organ usage here too.
Like, probably.
Like really? Yeah. No, I mean, just has all the clean sections give you chills and then give way to Lur sickest.
Yeah.
The
Be Cool death metal step. Yeah, I don't know. Do we want to move on?
Sure. I mean, Drapery Falls kind of slaps.
Sam, you know what's wild?
What?
We've been going for an hour and 10 minutes ish.
Wow. Yeah.
It's gonna be a long one, but that's okay because this album deserves it.
I agree. We're talking about Dirge for November.
Yes, another,
which is kind of like that's another thing I like. Like with Leper Affinity, it's really just a riff fest. With Bleak, you got a slow build built around a chorus. With Drapery Falls, you just get kind of an odyssey followed like atmospheric part after atmospheric part, and then Dirge for November is distinctly different because it opens up with just this jazzy guitar part and Michael like basically crying on the mic.
Go on. Yeah, very natural. It really, I just kind of, I don't know. It feels folky. Very, very folky. This is some of the most folky that I think Opeth has gotten up to this point, is on this track.
I agree. And this acoustic refrain is just so gorgeous. Mm-hmm. Like the do 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 do. Do, 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 do.
Yeah, it's wicked pretty. And I mean, the close mic acoustic just sounds great, you know, and obviously Michael's a great guitar player, so, you know, he doesn't fuck up at all. But even then, like, it just feels so natural and so impressive throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, and I mean, I really love how, like, sort of the first heavy section is just an extension of those chords, just with a bunch of distortion and a bunch of layers in death metal rhythm section. And I don't think we've mentioned it yet on this recording, but the fact that Lopez's recording tone is so like not death metal-y really works in this record's favor. Like the fact that Martin Mendez is basically playing a jazz bass and Martin Lopez is basically playing like a jazz kit with double bass drums really works, because at no point do they feel like they're just punching your face out in the mix.
Like you can certainly hear them, and on like the Leper Affinity, like those double bass pedals, they're moving at like 30 seconds and they're just pounding, but they're not so unbelievably overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like it reminds me of like that Fear Factory live video we like to make fun of, where the two kick drums are louder than God himself.
Yeah, no, it's very tasteful in this and most Opeth projects. So yeah, it's just thank you, Steven Wilson, for being a good producer.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've heard people levy critiques against the song as a little too samey, but I honestly kind of think of it like a black metal track, because like the song is really like an intro followed by one chord progression for almost the entire clean section or harsh section, and it works.
Oh, it really works.
And that's outro
a good way to think about it.
Perfect too.
Oh yeah, it's just a riff off the first one.
Yeah, except like I don't know, that guitar just sounds so desolate. Like it sounds like it's like a nice solo guitar piece, and the tone knob is at 0, such a dark voice, and it really is gorgeous.
Yeah, I think you're right that, you know, this song could possibly be critiqued for, you know, being too samey. I get it, but at the same time, I don't know, man. Like the amount of versatility that Opeth has, like this song is samey, but it's only samey in this song. Yeah, so like, is that even something you can really complain about?
Exactly, and like the fact that it starts with a clean section, ends with like a distinctly different clean section, and the whole thing is just kind of dreary. It really works for the mood of the album, and it, you know, it sort of enforces Opeth as Lur sad boy metal band.
Oh yeah. Even though, like, I don't know, when I think of Opeth, I don't really think of sad boy metal, but like it definitely helps the vibe.
Yeah. Well, I feel like a lot of the clean sections here, we'll see appearing on their next release, really, in Damnation and certain parts of Deliverance.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, it helps that, as always, Michael's ear for melody is near flawless.
Yeah.
And
you really there you go.
Well, yeah, and I was gonna say, like, the lyrics here are pretty honestly, pretty bleak. Like, lost, here's nowhere, searching time still, turning past me, all are gone, time is now.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is just kind of desolate and dreary, and it brings you into that mood, and the usage of, like, the same chord throughout with just a million layers is nice. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, they know how to do it, dude.
Yeah, it's almost like, good guitarists and songwriters and everything in between make good music.
They do make music. Yeah. No, this song's great. And actually, I do think that it works really well following, Dirt for November. No, excuse me, that was Dirt for November.
The Drapery Falls.
Yeah, Drapery Falls. I don't think we need the break, but I'll take the break. That's fine.
Yeah, and like it works nicely in context.
Yeah,
that's another thing about this album is it flows basically perfectly.
Yep.
You get two badass intro cuts, and then you take the tension down, and then you escalate the tension until you hit the best metal song of all time. So,
right.
I talk agree. about the funeral portrait.
Another banger.
Yeah, this is another great way to open with like the fade in of this like pretty intricate and fast guitar chord.
Yeah, and then grow it into full distortion and all that funny stuff. Also, Michael's performance on this track in particular, at least vocally, is pretty damn impressive. Like,
oh, totally.
Some of his howls are like, I'm like, all right, man, take a step back there, guy. Like, I hear you straining your voice. Like, be careful.
Yeah, no, I mean, this song is like this really does just like it's another riff fest. You get riff from riff to riff, and Michael's just literally defiling God himself with his performance.
Yeah.
And it has like, I feel like the consonants on this song in particular is awesome.
Yeah.
Like the way he just kind of spits out some of these deliveries, like ruby eyes in the fog. That was me. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. This song is just kind of a riff fest jam. I mean,
this is easily the hardest song on the record play on guitar, at least for me.
It makes sense. I mean, listening to these dueling guitar parts that are, they're playing harmony and then they're bouncing in between and weaving in another. It's gross, but it sounds great, and they obviously can do it very well because Peter and Michael are very talented.
Oh, totally. Also, this song has kind of the shortest acoustic section on the record. You just get like a couple bars of like do 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 until
Yeah, that's right.
We also got a few pretty sick on this section to lead it into the. It's good.
The Michael blah, dude. Did Michael invent the blah?
Holy heck! We're gonna have to do some research.
But yeah, no, I like the clean section sort of in the back half of this track too. I think it really fits.
Oh, totally. It's one of the defining moments of the record. Mm-hmm. Like, I always think back to and you are just like them all, stained by the name of their fathers. Yeah, it's very iconic and it's gorgeous. And I like how the song does the Opeth thing where it sort of builds out of the grime, gets more orchestral, gets all the layers added until suddenly we have like 50 guitars going or whatever, and we got Michael singing a hook on top of it.
Mm-hmm. And what's this track about? I don't know.
I think it's basically about the struggle between life and death. I feel like the lyrics on this record like are dope in certain.
No,
moments.
they're less. They matter less. There's certainly some good vocal snippets throughout.
Yeah, and oh my god, I forgot about that sweet picking section at the very end where it's like, which
is that
a
Peter
bitch and a half
or is that Michael?
It could be either. Normally Peter does that sort of stuff.
All right, fair enough. I'm sure they both could do it.
Yeah, I mean they're both pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And the way it sort of resolves on like the high, I'm the 21 fret vibrato with the tapping finger. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's look at there's some nice lyric snippets here, like rain washing clean all the sins, a liquid gown that covers all. Your loath turns endless. Open mirage soothe your sense.
Mm-hmm.
Close to you, tangled up in hair. Fresh stigma looks like. Shall I take you with me? And it is cold. Ruby eyes in the fog. It is me.
It's me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I love that refrain towards at the very end.
Yeah, it's very, very pretty. They know what they're doing. Also,
what?
No, nothing. Never mind.
Dark romanticism, Pogo.
Dark romanticism. Yeah, that's this record. I think this album makes it that. I mean, like, what do you think of when you think of dark naturalism now? I'll tell you. Blackwater Park. That's what I think of.
Well, it's literally a park made of black water.
I mean, the album cover is just... It's also perfect. Like, that's just so iconic.
Oh, yeah. It's just like, at first you're like, oh, it's the gray one, right? And then it's
not just the gray one.
With some ghosts, maybe.
You got some spookies in the back. The nice wispy trees.
Some spoder web in the front, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Well, that could be a pond. That could be a pond. Who knows? Who knows what that is?
I don't know. It looks great. I want a Blackwater Park shirt.
Uh-oh. Now it's time for Adam's least favorite track on the entire...
Oh, no. Adam's like, yo, dude, this record was a 10.
Guys,
because of
come
this,
on.
It's a 3.
What the hell? I don't know. We memed about it earlier, but like, I can't dig Opeth for Patterns in the Ivy. I can't. It's not fair. Like, this song is just, it's a great little interlude. And before the final track, we need it. It is so much more natural to do that than it would be to, just jump right into Blackwater Park, the title track.
Oh yeah, and I mean this is a pretty gorgeous part. As like I really love the piano flourishes towards the end, like ding 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 doo doo.
Yeah,
and the fact that like the acoustic passage here is a little simpler than a lot of the other parts helps too. You know, It gets you nice and contemplative, like you're staring at some flowers or whatever, before the world literally ends on the next track.
Yeah, I don't know. It is very nice. The acoustic guitar obviously sounds great. And that's all there really is to it. It's got a nice pretty little melody that it flourishes around with. The piano also sounds great at the end of the track.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. It's great. Good little interlude tune. I'm not going to say it's my favorite on that record by any means. But, I
mean, but at the very least, the interlude serves its purpose.
Yeah. It absolutely does serve its purpose. So.
And then you get the song, the titular Blackwater Park.
I mean, it's the longest song in the record, and it has every right to be. And it just jumps right in with that riff. I mean, if you don't know this riff, you better know this riff. Because, I mean, a lot of people say this is the best metal song or metal album of all time. So does that make this one of the best metal songs of all time? Is that a fair assessment to make? I think so.
I don't know. I feel like this song is kind of perfect. You just get the best riffs in Opeth's entire catalog, one after the other, with like the best vocal performance of Michael Ackerfeld's career.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you get the that like sort of the hinting of the riff, the doon in it, like, oh my god, it's so iconic.
Yeah.
And the whole thing just like, I don't know, you want to like break your fucking neck because it's so groovy and the riffs are so tasty. Confessor. In the tragedies of man, lurking in the core of us. Oh,
it's just yeah, it's so epic. It's so iconic. Obviously, it kind of has that that sort of classic metal thing. I don't know, like this song sounds like a metal song, where I feel like most of Opeth's other music is more like it's very unique. But this song is like a metal song, and that is not a bad thing by any means, because them doing that makes it just it's perfect.
Well, I mean, it's like sort of them returning to like Serenity Painted Death, but moving everything up to 11 and packing it with their best content on record.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the interlude here is placed really early. It's a really iconic interlude, and it's great, because, after this, you're literally just going to be at 11 until the record ends.
Mm-hmm. It's like, what is it? First 3 minutes that interlude comes in at some point?
Yeah, it comes in at, like, the second minute. And we don't get distorted guitars until, like, 5.5 minutes. And, oh my god, what a way to bring it back. And then Michael comes in with the... It's just so sick. And once again, the consonants, like the lepers coiled neath the trees, dying men and bewildered soul. It's so awesome. It is just unequivocally everything amazing about the genre with Opeth's sense of melody.
Yeah, I mean, obviously these guys know how to do it, but they go over and above on this track. They don't just, write a great song. They write just something so unbelievably unique, impressive, and replayable, frankly.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like, I remember when I first got into Opeth, I learned Blackwater Park, the song guitar, and it's like, yeah, the song's kind of pretty good. And then every time I got in the car for like the next 3 months, I'd just be like, you know what? And then play Blackwater Park.
Yeah. I mean,
and then
that is part of the song that I think is kind of important, because like the rest of this album is certainly replayable, but like I don't know if I'm ever gonna go back to a track other than like the Leper Affinity or Blackwater Park by itself.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I hate listening to singles, but like this song is just like it is Blackwater Park. Like this is the whole record as one. It's completely emblematic of the entire package, and it's perfect.
Oh yeah, totally. And I mean, I like how it sort of gets progressively more melodic. That like instrumental refrain is really sick. The solo's great. The riff under the solo's great. I really like the chord progression. And then, oh my god, the build up at the end, where you get the octaves. And then we go into more of the drop D build up.
Yeah.
Which is, it's just getting ready for that moment.
Of course. It's kind of like, it is a slow banger, but in the best way possible, because, it does just have such a wonderful and natural build to its conclusion.
Oh, totally. And like, when the fucking acoustic guitar cuts out to just it, the and then you get the drop D, and Michael, of course, rends the earth.
Yeah.
It's like, that's like one of the best musical moments in their whole catalog.
Right.
It's amazing. Oh, and I love these last lyrics. It's so cool. Born the travesty of man. Regular pulse mist pandemonium. You're plucked to the parched with thirst to the wicked. And who can forget?
Yeah.
Adam, will you do it? Will you do it justice?
I mean, I could try.
Those final 2 lines.
I gotta listen to it myself now, so I don't look like an idiot on the internet forever. So you should stall for a minute.
Everything building towards the final moment. You get the ebo building towards the chorus. You get the double bass. You get these sick drop D chords, almost like Adam Jones, but not sucky. Riff getting ready for Mr. Ackerfeld to rend the earth with the title belt.
Hold on, wait.
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole song, the whole album is sort of building for this moment. It's just fucking sick. And the fact that right afterwards you get the best outro riff ever as another guitar just the
You want me to do it?
Do the roll.
The sun sets forever at Blackwater Park.
Yeah. Pretty frickin' good. I mean, yeah. That's it.
Yeah, no, and every time it just get that open riff. And then suddenly you're just left to like ponder on 2 nylon acoustic parts.
Yeah.
And oh my god, like what a perfect song and what a perfect album. Like this is like one of those rare works of art where it truly feels like nearly every note is just perfect. Like,
yeah,
I can't think of a dull moment on this album or a moment.
No, there's not. There's really not.
Yeah, it all serves the purpose, and the fact that this album is like almost an hour and 10 minutes blows my mind.
I mean, it doesn't feel like it, for sure. You know, like, it might be a little long to the average listener, but, like, this is our bread and butter.
Yeah, I mean, look, don't get me wrong, if you're not accustomed to, like, prog and or death metal,
right,
probably not gonna like it, but, like, if you like either of those things at all...
Yeah, no, I think you can show this to a normal prog head or a normal death metal head, and they'd be like, oh yeah, okay, I understand. I get it, you know?
Yeah, it's just perfection. And, like, this really was a record that was good enough to build the rest of their career on. And
they fucking did it.
Like, if you hear any prog band, really, you know, that started after Opeth, chances are they're influenced by Blackwater Park. Like, yeah. I think of, like, Wilderun, where all their albums are so indebted to this, or, like, Signs, or
of course,
Cult, like, all of these groups.
I mean, I don't know, The Reticent, which literally takes directly from the Opeth catalog. I mean, yeah, you know, what better an album to fucking rip off than Blackwater Park, you know? I
wish I had the melodic ear to conjure riffs, the overall just, like, songwriting sentiment of Michael Ackerfeld and crew operating at their peak, because it really is a sight to behold. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like you could just bang to any of these songs, aside from the interlude, just out of context.
Oh, without a doubt. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, you know, it helps that it has, like, literally the best album opener and best album closer in metal history. Yeah. Like, it's such a way to get you invested and such a way to end the whole thing. Mm-hmm. And it helps that every moment in between is perfect.
Yeah. I agree completely. Completely.
So the real question is, does any album in the Opeth catalog hold up to this?
No.
I've seen some convincing arguments for Ghost Reveries.
I think we'll have to... I really think that's going to have to wait. Because I haven't heard Ghost Reveries in a hot minute. So, like, I
don't think you've even listened to Deliverance.
I haven't. Right. We're going to have to... At this point, no. I don't think this album can be touched by anything that the group has done. You're right. Every single moment of this album is front to back perfect, immaculately calculated, and executed to the best it can be. And you can't say that for literally any of their other records.
Hey, not one. AMG likes Ghost Reveries more.
Well, AMG also likes Armored Saint, okay, and Eternal Champion. So
and no beef, Pain of Salvation.
No beef. But I don't know. Like, call me a poser for liking Blackwater Park is the best Opeth record, or a normie, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, this album just, at least at this point in our journey, is unrivaled completely. And I don't see it getting better from here.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. Maybe we'll be able to stand Damnation all the way to the top.
Maybe. Who knows? I mean, hell, we could. There could be equal footing. We really don't know. There's certainly a context thing to bring into this as well, because we're kind of doing a sort of a historical take on this whole thing, and looking at it that way. So I really don't know what'll happen, but at the very least, we know that this is one of the best metal albums of all time, and certainly up till this point, the best Opeth album. So,
yeah, I agree.
So there you go. There you go.
Have you listened to the B-sides released on the deluxe version?
Fuck no.
I haven't. 2 and Still Day Beneath the Sun.
I have not, actually.
I haven't either.
They're probably pretty good. Yeah, they're probably pretty good.
But no, I mean, it's interesting because how do you follow up a masterpiece like this? And if you look at like the band's trajectory, like they were literally like, we'll do 2 albums, one of the heavy and one of the clean.
I honestly think, and we can talk about this more next time, but like I think that Damnation is a perfect follow-up. Just because
came out before it.
Oh, whatever. Whichever one is
originally supposed to be the same album.
Okay. Hold on. I need to now. I'm going to look stupid for a hot.
Yeah, no. Well, after this, Michael, like the label was like, "All right, make another album within 2 years," and then Michael was writing. All he could write was like soft sad boy songs, and then so the label was like, "We need the heavy," so he literally made a full heavy album and a full clean album.
I think that at the very least, I understand why Michael wanted to go in the direction of full sad boy. Like, if they released Damnation directly after Blackwater Park, I think it would have been a perfect move. Because I get it. Like, that, like, yes, you've made your defining statement, and now you're going to completely switch it around.
Uh-huh.
So that makes total sense to me. Yeah. I don't know. That's it. That's Blackwater Park, dude.
That is it. The sun set forever.
It did. It done diddly did set forever on Blackwater Park.
Over.
Any final thoughts, or are we just writing the news?
I don't know. I feel like we've said all there is to say. Like, I feel like this album will stand the test of time. Right now we're 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Like, it really is just one of the defining statements of the hard, heavy music canon. Like, it's perfect. Yeah. It's great. Shout out, kudos to Michael for doing this when he was like 25.
Yeah. The sun sets forever on Blackwater Park, man. That's it.
That do be it. Oh, so ranking, I feel like a poser, but our ranking right now is literally chronological.
That's why, dude, I brought this concern up in the Morning Rise or in the My Arms episode. It'll change. It'll change from here. Because now we've already established that we've reached the top.
Yeah, do we think Deliverance is better
Probably
than Still
not.
Life? That's going to be a...
Oh, then Still Life. Oh, I don't know. We'll get there and we'll see.
We shall see. I feel like we should probably take a break next week from the path.
We could.
Because I ground so much goddamn Blackwater Park and Still Life. I'm a little pathed out right now.
All right, we'll see. We won't give too much away.
We got some news though.
We do have a little bit of news. I have a little bit of news.
We had kind of a metal legend kind of died.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Shit. Yeah, no, that happened. And wow, that's huge. That's huge.
It sucks.
That's even bigger than fuck, oh, this is bad. Cradle of Filth guy.
Yeah, arguably, like,
I would say it's even bigger.
Yeah, what OG obituary look was?
Yeah. What's it? LG. I can never remember his name.
Oh no, I'm not obituary. Gosh, Entombed. Sorry.
Entombed. Yes. The Florida heads are gonna come for you.
I'm sorry. Yeah, LG Petrov.
Yeah. Yes, LG Petrov. It shows how much we know about Entombed, but we do know that Entombed is obviously super huge. And yeah, honestly, a fucking crying shame.
Yeah, no, it just sucks. I mean, they were super influential. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do you dirty like this.
Yeah. If we were bigger OSDM heads, we would have a little bit more, I guess, to say. But, that's horrible. Especially when it's such, as impactful as a group as Entombed, who basically led the death metal charge in Europe.
Wait, Entombed are from Europe?
They're Swedish.
What?
Yes. LG Petrov, Lars Goran Petrov.
Well.
Uh-oh.
I'm a pleb.
Sam's a pleb. No, yes, they're Swedish death metal band Entombed. Wow, unbelievable. No, but yeah, it's so unfortunate. And we hate to see that 2021 is arguably more brutal than 2020 for us. So we hate to see it.
Yeah.
In lighter news, there's a Deftones tequila now.
I'm gonna. That's it. When are we just stocking up on band alcohol? When are we having the cast where we just rank all the band alcohols?
It's the Abre Ojos Tequila, which I assume means White Pony in Spanish, because it is the 20th anniversary of White Pony, and it's White Pony.
God,
brand.
like, I don't even like tequila, but I feel like I should get this,
Right? Yeah. That's interesting. Pick it up.
Sangre.
There's only
Sangre al amor.
There's only 2,880 bottles of it, so get it while it's hot.
It's probably like $800 or something.
All right. How do we feel about the Mike Patton version of the TMNT song?
No comment.
No comment. It's big news, dude. That is for the reboot of the arcade game.
I don't know. Good for Mike Patton. I don't care.
I'm just saying I don't know. A lot of people like TMNT, dude. I'm not a big fan, but whatever.
Adam, we need to be talking about important things. Like, did you know Kesha was spotted wearing a Voivod t-shirt, bro? Bro, puts on beret, pushes up monocle. Name every one of their albums if you like Voivod. I love those band memes things where it's like a girl wearing like a Misfits shirt, and then the soy face comes over, and he's like, "OMG." Okay, can we talk about the best Instagram meme right now, which is various like serious people singing Chug Jug with you?
Yeah,
dude, I saw Tom York singing Chug Jug with me, and I died.
Have you seen White Kanye?
Yeah. Dude, have you seen Michael Gira singing Chug Jug with you?
I want to, though.
Corey Taylor singing Chug Jug with you?
So dumb, but it's so funny.
I screamed yesterday when I saw Tom York singing it. Fortnite's gonna... Honestly, the first like metalcore band to hop on that trend and release a metal cover.
They're already doing it. You know that they're active right now.
We know, like, Architects tomorrow is going to be like, oi, bruv, you got your ID? well, we just released a Chug Jug With You cover.
Jesus fucking Christ. This is America, dude.
I wish. Corey Taylor reveals plans for socially distanced Corey motherfucking Taylor tour this spring.
Oh, God. Yeah, okay, sure thing. Sure.
Adam Levine, there are no rock bands anymore.
I saw there are no rock bands
Actually,
anymore.
I'm a little sympathetic to him here because I know what he's trying to say. He's trying to say there are no big ticket rock bands the way there used to be, which he's right.
He is right, but you just, I don't know, man. I don't
know. Adam Levine should not be commenting on this because, like, you know, as we say every day, we find 30 million new artists who are, you know, changing the way we perceive metal or guitar-driven music.
Man's literally in a band.
Man is literally in
a rock band. I don't know. I don't know. Fuck Adam Levine. I understand his point, but watch your words. Sam, for $200, you could be an executive producer on Jamie Jasta's new album.
Yo. Alright, I'm dropping out of school right now. I know what I'm doing.
It comes with a copy of the record for $200.
Does that have Jasta pasta?
I don't know. But he needs the help, I guess. So, yeah. Yeah. Take that as you will. John Schaefer has filed a motion to drop all of the charges brought against him.
Wait.
No. No, please. No, please, thank you.
Yeah, it's literally like you kill someone and you're like, well, I didn't mean to.
I didn't mean to storm the Capitol.
I didn't mean to participate in an insurrection.
I didn't mean to do it. Yeah. Oh, right.
Ugh. It's so cringe. Like these people talk about like holding, you know, certain people accountable for like things they did 20 years ago, and then they like they literally participate in a coup, and they're like, it's like the BP oil salesman. We're sorry.
Yeah, I agree. Otherwise, I don't have any other news.
I mean, we have
news.
So, I'll touch on this briefly, but R.I.P. Alexei Laiho. His cause of death was revealed, and it was basically liver failure from several different medications.
Oh no!
Which is sad. And I mean, I think whenever something like this happens, we should use it to start a conversation on substance abuse, because it's no laughing matter.
Absolutely, I agree.
Do you know what is a laughing matter though?
This release week.
Is it? I was gonna say Sumo Psycho's new song, but
there's a lot of high profile releases, but as far as I know, the underground's kind of dry this week.
All right, hit me up with some high profile releases.
I Hate God, Conan, The Crown. Those are the big ones, at least that I can think of. Do you know who Necropanther is? They're kind of big.
Yeah, I do.
They're putting out a new one too.
Fun.
Yeah, and honestly, there's not much else, which kind of sucks. Stort Ring is out this week too. That one's kind of been hyped up for a while.
I mean, Shushu just got announced, right?
Yeah, Shushu got announced, but I don't.
St. Vincent dropped a new track for her new album.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. Annie Clark's a very talented person, but is it just me, or like do all of her interviews just kind of come across as like pointlessly snarky and elitist?
Oh no, they do.
Like I like St. Vincent, don't get me wrong, but I like just seems like she's kind of hard to deal with in a lot of places. I don't know.
She could be. Who knows?
I'm not trying to levy any allegations. I was like reading her press release for the new record because we got sent it to the radio station,
right?
And it was like so like in your face, like yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, do you know what we can talk about next week?
What?
The Grammys. The Grammys are this weekend, Adam.
Oh That's a travesty.
get your noose ready, dude.
Oh,
God. Ready to see
who
Phoebe
the fuck
Bridgers
is
sweep everything because she's an attractive 20-something white woman.
She's bi though.
Yeah, look, I love Phoebe Bridgers. Don't get me wrong, but like I was reading like an analysis of it, and like basically this year she's gonna be like the Billie Eilish.
Who? Okay, all right. We have Poppy. Oh my god.
Yeah, isn't this?
They suck.
Really bad? Wait, send it to me real quick.
No, I'm just gonna read it to you.
All right.
In this moment, the in between. Blood Money by Poppy. Great song.
Yeah. Wait, don't
Live
Code Orange up there?
Yeah, underneath Code Orange. A live version of Executioners X.
Okay.
Not even. I am actually up in arms about that.
Well, dude,
I'm sorry. I don't
Riley,
give a shit.
bro.
I don't give a shit. There's so much music that came out last year that is amazing, even in the mainstream. That pisses me off.
I agree.
Didn't they win a Grammy in 2017?
No.
Okay. Regardless, they should have. But yeah, no, fuck that. There's so much better music than you need to stick a live fucking recording in
One
that
Tenacious
category.
D, one with a live version.
Yeah, like
over like Dio or something.
I can't stand that. I'm sorry, but I understand that like you want to pay your respects to Riley and the Power Trip family, but like that's not the way to do it, man. At least that's not the way I think you should do it. And the other nomination is Bum Rush by Body Count, another great track.
What about, aren't like the rock album noms really bad too?
Let's take a look.
I think Coldplay's like triple album that no one remembers is there.
Hold on, let's take a look. Fiona Apple, Phoebe. Wait, hold on. Yeah, wait a minute. Grammy Awards. Wait, why? This is weird. Yeah, Best Rock Performance. Fiona Apple, Big Thief, Phoebe Bridgers, Haim, Brittany Howard, and Grace Potter.
Fair. Probably Fiona Apple on that.
Yeah, probably Fiona Apple. Well, I don't know. Phoebe might. You said it. Phoebe might sweep.
She's totally gonna sweep.
Also, Shamika is not a rock track. I hate to tell you. I like Fetch the Bolt Cutters, but that is the wrong song to choose for.
We have a simp here.
No comment.
I
don't know.
Simp.
The Grammys suck as an organization, A, and B. I don't know. They always all the nominations like 90.
Oh, dude, this is gonna be so fun to like shit on afterwards. Yeah, no, a best rock album: Fontaines DC, Michael Kiwanuka, Grace Potter, Sturgill Simpsons, and The Strokes.
Well, The Strokes should win because I don't want anyone else to win.
Yeah, no, I feel like The Strokes should win that one.
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun one.
Wait,
dude, will Jesse Volume 3 come in with the clutch?
I wish there was just, I don't know. I wish that they had him. Who's picking these albums? Who picked those metal albums this year?
It's like a committee of like 800 boomers.
No, I know it is, but like, I understand if you don't have Krallice in your fucking Grammy Awards. That's fine. I can get why you don't want Krallice to be performing at the Grammy Awards. I get it. But, like, you know what?
Hey, like, dude, a few years ago we had, like, Meshuggah, Gojira, Periphery.
Even that's so much better. Oh, man, it drives me nuts looking at this stuff, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Grammys are approaching dead meme status. So
they are, dude.
Maybe like
dead meme status.
I don't know. We need like like last year. Tyler had an amazing like incendiary performance.
Yes.
A few years ago, Kendrick had like the best Grammy performance ever. Like if we see like one of those like provocateur like avant-garde performers like
Phoebe
really nailing some. Yeah, like
you better show up.
Like
you better show up, Phoebe.
Like if we see one of those, like that'd be great.
Yeah. No. Hopefully we can have that.
But I mean, I don't know. Where's my Opeth Grammy?
Where's the Opeth Grammy?
Have they won a Grammys?
I don't think so. I'm not sure though.
Opeth Grammys. Yeah, no, they did.
Oh, they did? For what?
Yeah, they won Hard Rock Metal for Deliverance, and they've been nominated like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times.
Interesting. Deliverance?
Yeah.
Weird. And not Blackwater Park or Ghost Reveries or any of that.
Adam, I'm telling you, you're gonna listen to Deliverance this week, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my god."
I probably will be, and you're right, but, I mean, at the same time, that's not the album when I think of Opeth of being, like, the pinnacle of their music.
Sir, we have a pleb alert.
I am a pleb. I am an Opeth pleb. That is part of the reason we're
slowly
doing this.
changing that.
We are changing. I wouldn't call myself a pleb anymore. I'm in now.
Still never listened to any of their rock albums.
Yeah, not yet, but we're getting there.
Anywho, do you have anything else you want to talk about? This has been going long.
Oh, this is a long one. We're almost at 2 hours. No, I don't know, man. I guess we'll be talking about the Grammys and the winners next time on this show. That's going to be a fun-filled episode full of positivity and support for the artists involved.
When in doubt, the Grammys will mess it up.
Yeah. So
remember when Dave Mustaine won over like Gojira, Meshuggah, and Code Orange?
Yep.
And Baroness, dude, and Baroness.
Yeah, I remember.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember. No,
that was
wait. Purple won a Grammy.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No way.
Purple is a Grammy-winning album. Yes, it is.
No way.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Baroness Grammy.
Yes. Baroness absolutely has a Grammy.
No, they've been nominated once, dude.
For
Shock Me, I have it right here.
Dude, I totally thought that.
No, that year was like literally Meshuggah, Gojira, Baroness, Code
I remember
Orange,
getting nominated.
And Megadeth. And Megadeth won.
Fuck. Baroness should have won that.
Dude, I think Meshuggah should have won that.
No.
Dude, it was for Clockworks.
I mean, alright. Now I gotta go listen to Clockworks and be like, just vibrating.
Dismantling the Clockworks. That makes me the cynic.
Yeah, no. Regardless, fuck the Grammys. Fuck the old heads. We need to usher in a new era of music. There needs to be a Pitchfork Music Awards.
Dude, there needs to be true Norwegian black metal.
Absolutely. Where's Mayhem at these Grammys? Dude, Damon came out.
Dude, honestly, that album's pretty good. Tellock actually streams his practice routine every day, and it's super helpful. Because he's just like, alright, I will now play a song from Bing.
Bass God.
Bass Tellock. Alright, I've been Sam.
I'm Adam.
And check out next week for Grammy Review.